my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading all about the rest of 2023. So what can you expect happening in your life for the rest of the year? I love doing these videos, but also at the same time, how fast have these years been going by? It is just mind-blowing. But yeah, does anyone else feel that way? Does anyone else feel like the years are literally flying by? Or am I alone on this? Anyway, if you are new to these types of videos, I'm gonna give you a quick little rundown about how it works. So over here we have group number 1, group number 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you would like, in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. And then once you're done choosing your pile, there's gonna be timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box that you can skip right ahead to your personal reading all about the rest of the year of 2023 for you and all the different things that you can expect. If you like to choose with crystals on the cards, then let's go ahead and pop some crystals on these cards. All right, my loves, if you like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. So over on group number 1, we have some quartz that actually has some type of metal infused on it, which is kind of cool. I think it's hematite. And then over here on group number 2, we have some Picasso jasper. Group number 3, we have some malachite. And then group number 4, we have some sunset aura quartz. So again, you can take a moment, pause the video if you would like, in order to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. And then once you are done choosing, again, there's timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box that you can skip right ahead to your personal prediction all about what you can expect for the rest of 2023. So with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. All right, so my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about 2023, or the rest of 2023, I should say. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, my loves. So group number 1, here's what we have for you. We have the Huntress, which is the Quest card. Then we have the Star Mother, which is the Loved card. And then we have the Cosmos card, which is Ascend. There is something that you are going to be focusing on and really putting all of your attention to for the rest of 2023. Like, I feel there is something that you're gonna want to achieve, and maybe you even feel that right now. Maybe you have a certain goal that you're like, I really want to do that before the end of the year. I want to make sure that I do this, or this changes in my life, or I achieve or create some success before the end of the year. That is like what you are honing in on. And I think that there's gonna be something in particular that you are just extremely focused on, like a target you wanna hit, a goal that you want to achieve in your life. And I really see you attaining that by the end of 2023. Like, I just see you putting all of your energy and attention towards this thing. And I feel like there's this sense of determination that's going to come through over these next few months that are going to really help you like make things happen. It's going to really help you get to that certain goal. We also have the Ascend card, and this just makes me feel like you're ready to up-level your life and you're ready to make things better than they've been. I feel like you're just ready for that. And I also see that you don't want to kind of keep the same patterns, routines, habits, and I feel like you're just wanting to kind of like up-level your life and make things better. And I also think that because this card says, I connect to oneness and I expand my awareness, I think there's different things that you are going to be learning and coming across over these next few months that are also going to like inspire you to take things to the next level. And even if there's a goal that you really want to reach, I feel like you're going to be gaining the tools and the knowledge that's going to really help you achieve that. Even if something seems kind of far away and impossible for you right now and you're like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to make that happen? I just see that you are going to be like learning different things that are going to really help you achieve this certain thing. So if there's a goal that you have in mind that you really want to work on, a vision that you've had, maybe that you've had even since the beginning of the year, that you wanted to hit a certain mark or achieve a certain thing in your life, but maybe it hasn't quite come to fruition yet, and you're still wondering, okay, do I have enough time? Is this actually going to happen? I just feel like you are hunkering down and making things happen. I also feel like you are ready to create more calmness. Not necessarily calmness. Calmness is the wrong word, because at the same time you're like being like really determined and really focused. But I also think that you are wanting to make time for yourself more in order to be like easier on yourself. So when it comes to achieving your goals, it's not this energy of like, of this negative forcefulness. It's more like I am inspired, but I'm loving myself along the way as I'm pushing through to these different things that you desire. Also, if there is anything going on like with your family, or if you've been wanting to kind of like create more forgiveness or even create more harmony in your family, I'm seeing that that's going to be something that you're creating through the end of the year as well. Some of you might live far away from your family and maybe you don't see them as much as you'd like to. This card is really making me feel like you are going to be able to spend more time with them before the end of the year. And there's also going to be nice, beautiful memories being made within your family. And I see this sort of nurturing and supportiveness coming from your family as well. That's coming through the end of the year as well. Just this energy where your family's coming through energetically and they're giving their support to you. So I feel like that's something that's also going to be happening in your life over these next few months. So let's go ahead and dive into some more cards here. We have some tarot cards. So the first one that we have is the Eight of Wands being reversed. And when this card shows up in the reverse position, it indicates that we are maybe redirecting our energy towards something. And again, I feel like it's towards this quest. And I feel like you are looking at your current trajectory and you're like, wait a second, I need to like change things around so that I actually meet my goal, I hit my mark. And there's just this determination to really do that. I also feel like you are up-leveling yourself to where you are going to be more inspired by who you are. You're going to be more inspired by yourself. And I think that's going to be a really beautiful feeling for you. I also think that there's certain things that you're going to be really saying no to. So when it comes to other people maybe needing your help or needing your attention, or even people that are like, oh, hey, let's go and do this and go and do that. And, you know, all these different invitations and different things like that. I feel like you're almost saying no to certain things so that you can really focus on whatever this sort of quest is. And I feel like this quest is very personal to you. It's like you're really wanting to hit this mark and do this thing. And even if you don't know what that is right now, I feel like it's going to become very clear to you very soon. But I feel like for most of you watching this, you've had a goal in mind probably throughout this entire year. Or at least very recently you made a goal for yourself that you're like, I really want to do that before the end of this year, because if it's not the end of this year, then it's going to be my next year goal. And I feel like you're not wanting to push it off for another year. I feel like you're really just wanting to hunker down and achieve this certain thing. We also have the Hierophant card. The Hierophant deals with learning, and it also talks about values. And I feel like your values are shifting. And I also feel like you are ending bad habits, and you are wanting to almost purify your life. Some of you might be like wanting to like quit drinking, for example, or quit other bad habits that you're like, that's not good for me. And the Hierophant does talk about purity and talks about values, and can also talk about higher levels of learning. So some of you may also be really inclined or interested in getting certain certificates, getting certified for something, or up-leveling your knowledge or wisdom, or finding a teacher, or even doing things where you're self-taught. Maybe you're going to be learning things online and teaching yourself certain things. But either way, I feel like this is going to really help you in whatever this quest is, because at this point you're like, okay, if I'm going to get it done, I need to do it right, and I need to gain the wisdom to do it so I can actually fully hit that mark and make this thing happen. I just see this like full force determination heading through, but at the same time, it's like you are also learning how to love yourself through that process and how to nurture yourself through that process so that you don't reach burnout. And I think that's one of the things that's going to be in your mind is like, okay, how can I properly nurture myself while I'm also on this like really big quest? I also think you are going to be rewarding yourself by the end of the year. This card is really making me feel of like this energy of rewarding yourself, and again, getting rid of distractions to get to your goal. And then I feel like after you reach it, you're gonna have this energy of like this nice satisfaction where you're gonna reward yourself in some way and be able to just like nurture yourself and take care of yourself. Also for some of you, some of you have a goal to make your diet better. Because this card, the Star Mother, is also about nurture. So this is how you nurture your body. Maybe one of your goals is to eat healthier. And maybe that's something that you're like, I need to hit this target by the end of the year. I need to start changing these habits, because you're going to really value, your values are shifting. You're going to value certain things a lot more. I think it's to deal with health, the health of yourself, your body. This is probably also health physically, like your physical fitness perhaps, or something like this. But I do feel like you're wanting to hit the target on those things as well. We also have the Knight of Swords being reversed. It's interesting because we have two of the fastest moving cards in tarot, the Eight of Wands and then the Knight of Swords, and they're both reversed. There's something that you've been maybe putting off, or you haven't seen a lot of progress on through the whole year. And maybe you had a certain goal that you really wanted to reach by the end of this year, and you're like, wait a second, there's like no progress in that direction. What have I been doing? And again, I feel like this is your time of you're like, I'm going to change things around here, because you only have a few months left. And I just feel like the determination is coming through because of that. We also have Queen of Cups. Your intuition, whenever the Queen of Cups comes up upright, your gut is going to be speaking to you really powerfully and strongly through these next few months. And Queen of Cups is also very nurturing. We have nurturing and nurturing. I think you're smoothing out the edges on something, especially if you're trying to implement new habits in your life and try new things. It might feel a little bit rough and kind of like awkward at first, but I feel like you are smoothing out the edges and really learning this new skill and sort of perfecting a new skill. Perfecting this new wisdom and applying it to your life. And it might be kind of rough and awkward at first, but I feel like you are totally smoothing that out as things go. And this is, again, going to really help you ascend your life, and it's going to help you kind of end these certain habits that seem so easy in your life right now. It's going to help you end those habits that you desire to end. I also feel like if some of you have been having like stomach or digestive issues, this might be another like catalyst of why you're wanting to change your diet, because something that I'm also really feeling with this Queen of Cups is that some of you have maybe had like digestive issues. And I feel like by the end of the year, you're going to feel so much better because the things that you're putting in your body make you feel a lot better. I also think you're going to be cutting things out of your life that maybe you enjoyed, but they really kind of wreaked havoc on your body. That's another thing that I'm feeling in the Queen of Cups. I also see this really like strong energy coming through by the end of the year. The Queen of Cups is very connected to the sacral chakra, and because the sacral chakra is ruled by water, and so is the Queen of Cups. And another thing that I'm feeling is if you've had any sacral chakra issues, and that's like anywhere in like the womb, abdomen, reproductive organs, or any of the areas of the body that use water or, hold water. If you've had any issues in those areas, I feel like you're also doing a cleanse there. Some of you, this is like a liver cleanse too. If you've really wanted to, if you feel the need to like cleanse your body in certain ways, like if your body's been speaking to you and your gut's been like, hey, we need some attention here. We need to figure this out and start doing a cleanse. If you've felt that, I feel like you're going to be finding new ways to really nurture your body properly, to where your body's going to be really thanking you by the end of the year. And I feel like you're going to be pinpointing certain things that you've been trying to find answers for some time. I feel like you're going to be finding the answers to those things. So that is what we have over here. Let's dive into some more cards. We also have lucid dreams. Lucid dreams is when you realize that you're dreaming while you're still dreaming. Some of you may be getting that lately, just to point out the self-explanatory in this card. But whenever this card comes up, it also talks about like what it says here actually is evolving both in your waking and your dream life. So this is becoming more conscious during your day. Rather than living every single day kind of on autopilot, or living every single day similar to the last day or the previous few days, things start to become a blur and we're like, what did I do yesterday? It's like, well, I guess it's like the same day almost every day. And I feel like through the rest of the year, you're really wanting to become more conscious and present throughout your day. I feel like that's something that you're really realizing right now, is like you don't want to live the same day on repeat. So I think that you're just going to be evolving. Some of you are starting a journal practice, and I feel like that's going to really help you, because I feel like when we journal and we allow our thoughts to like go on paper, or even if we journal on like digitally, that's cool too, but we're able to sort of like see our thoughts, we're able to be more conscious because of the fact that we're taking time to actually reflect and allow our brain to like dump out all of its thoughts. We're able to kind of see it better. So some of you might be doing something like that, and you also might have really vivid dreams as well. So on top of just like the lucid dreaming stuff, I feel like some of you might be getting some really vivid dreams, or even your imagination might be really vivid lately, to where you are sort of just becoming so much more aware of you, yourself, your life, and the direction that you're headed in. And because of this awareness, I feel like you're like, wait a second, let me like grab the reins of this horse and like steer it to where I want it to go and take more control. I feel like you're really wanting to hone in and take more control of your life and where you're going and the decisions that you're making and all of that. And I feel like the rest of the year you are going to become just so much more conscious and so much more present. Oh, and then we also have the subconscious mind. Oh my goodness. So this is talking about exactly what we're talking about. So I feel like you are going to be switching up certain habits. I also feel like mentally you're doing a big like cleanup and clear out. So, ooh, and look what this card says. It says, good or bad, deep down, you know the truth. Listen and trust. You know your own truth. And I feel like you also know what you actually want. So if there's anything that you're currently like confused by, and you might be wondering like, oh, what's the right decision to make? What should I be doing with my life? What's the next step? I feel like you know it deep down inside. I also feel like your intuition is going to be just speaking to you so strongly. Like the Queen of Cups plus the subconscious mind, those two cards are actually extremely connected, because the Queen of Cups is, again, the water, and the subconscious mind is also like reflected with water. It's similar to water, at least like in the metaphysical correspondences. So one thing here is I think that you're also going to be doing some sort of like reevaluation and reflection on yourself. And I feel like honestly this is coming through journaling. I don't know if some of you are already like avid journalers and you're just gonna be getting into it more, or if some of you maybe have never journaled before, but maybe that's like a practice that you've been hearing about a lot lately, and maybe it has you thinking like, ooh, do I start that? Should I start doing that? Well, if so, this is your sign, because throughout this whole reading, I've kind of been feeling this energy of like reevaluation, doing brain dumps, and journaling, and being able to gain clarity and insight because of that. And I feel like it's going to be a practice that you're actually going to like extremely fall in love with if you're not already. I feel like it's going to be something that, I don't know, I feel like you're going to really fall in love with it and enjoy it. Let's go ahead and dive into some more cards here. I see you creating new habits by the end of the year that really stick. I think that's going to be something that you're really focused on. We also have share wisdom. There could be someone in your life that you're going to be asking advice from, maybe somebody who's already kind of like doing what you really want to do, or maybe you're even doing some self-study, like going on YouTube and searching up certain things that you really want to learn or figure out. But I do feel like you're just up-leveling your knowledge, especially the fact that we have the Hierophant here. Like I feel like you're going to be knowledge hungry. Maybe you're going to be reading more, studying more, being like interested in gaining a certificate on something, or yeah, like finding the wisdom that you need in order to like achieve a certain goal. We also have the Withdrawal card, and this card talks about going within. This is another reflection on that journaling energy, but also, you know, the fact that we also have the Eight of Wands being reversed, and I was sort of feeling like with that card, you're going to be saying no to certain people in your life or to certain events or to certain things. I feel like the rest of this year, you're going to be totally okay with being a little bit more on your own. I'm not saying you're going to be like fully alone the rest of the year. I don't think that's the case. However, I do think that you are wanting to seclude yourself a little bit because there's certain things that you really want to focus on, and you know that you're not going to be focusing on it if you're saying yes to all of these different things or continuing the same patterns that you always have. I just feel like you're taking more time for you. And I also see you catching up on sleep as well, especially if you've like been having insomnia or if you've been kind of tossing and turning. I do feel like you're also taking time to catch up on rest and sleep, and then also taking time out for you so that you can really hone in on these certain goals that you have that you really want to reach. I also think the withdrawal is making me feel like you're withdrawing from something that maybe you've been slightly addicted to, or a habit that you've been really wanting to withdraw from and break. I feel like you're taking some time out with something like that because you're wanting to withdraw away from it. You're wanting to end that certain habit because I think you're realizing like, it's not good for me. It's taking a toll. And yeah, I do feel like there's going to be somebody important in your life, by the way, who's going to be able to share so much of their wisdom that's also going to be really inspiring for you. So I do feel like you're either going to be meeting someone by the end of the year who you have these like small little talks with here and there, and they also have like some wisdom to share with you about these things that maybe you've been wondering, or the things that your gut has been trying to tell you. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be someone that you're learning from. This could be something that you're, stumbling upon online, or this could be an actual like person that you are going to be meeting that just has like wisdom to share with you about those different things. And I think this is the time. I feel like you're like, okay, this is it. I need to end these certain habits. I need to focus on this certain quest, focus on this certain goal, and make things happen. Yeah, I see you spending a little bit more time at home, by the way, being a little bit more of a homebody, but I see that being like a deliberate choice that you are making, because I think that you know that it's just like, it's time for that. I feel like your body is going to be calling you towards that. Let's see what else we get for you. So group number 1, what else do we have for you? We have positive future. Ooh, you want to make an impact on your future. That's for sure. Based on what we have here, you are really wanting to impact your future in a positive way. And I think you've been very like future oriented lately, like thinking about your future and thinking about how you want certain things to change. And again, that's going to be something that you are really working on. I also think you're going to be entering the year of 2024 and you're going to be like, okay, things are going on the right track right now. Things are going on the right track. And you're going to really be able to believe in yourself a lot because of the changes that you're making throughout the end of this year. Throughout the end of this year, the changes that you are making are going to be very impactful as you enter 2024. And I feel like the year 2024 is just going to be even more positive because of the shifts that you are making now. I also think you're going to be much more sure about your future because of the different shifts that you're making right now. So it's like, oh yes, I'm positive that I'm creating the future that I want. You're going to have this like sense of surety, this sense of like knowing within you, this sense of knowing. That's like the best way I can put that. Let's see. I feel like these cards are really wanting to come out. So we have I am truth. I think you're going to be following your truth a lot more. I feel like something that you've been like really called towards is to no longer seek validation or permission from other people in order to make certain choices in your life. I feel like you're really starting to trust yourself above all. I feel like that's something that's going to be so massive for you, is like you're learning how to trust yourself above all, to not need like validation or reassurance from another person. We also have resolution. So if there is something, okay, this is making me think of a few different things. So first off, there might be a certain resolution that you wrote down entering 2023. And maybe that certain resolution has not come to fruition yet. I feel like by the end of 2023, it is coming to fruition. So maybe if you wrote down resolutions somewhere for 2023, I would highly recommend looking back on that and seeing what you wrote down and seeing what has or has not happened and focusing on and asking yourself, okay, what do I really want to happen here? I feel like that's one of the things here that resolution is talking about. Another thing that resolution is talking about, if you have a certain issue in your life right now, again, this could be a health issue for some of you, like gut, digestion, something like that issue, or a different sort of issue. This could even be like an issue with a friend or a partner or a family member or something like that. But I do feel like you're going to be solving this issue before the end of the year, especially if this has been an issue that's like been reoccurrent throughout this year. This is being solved by the end of the year. Okay. So let's see, what is the last card? We have the last card of love, and it's so beautiful because we also had the loved card right here. I do feel like you're going to be inviting in more love. We also have so much green happening right here in the center, and this is like the heart chakra. I feel like you're going to be welcoming more love, welcoming in more love, and I'm also feeling a lot of self-love from this. So I feel like you're going to be working a lot on your relationship with yourself, and that's going to be really enhanced. But I also do feel like you're calling in more love in your life. Your love life might be going to the next level in some way, shape, or form. If you're currently single, I do think that there's going to be someone you're interested in by the end of the year. If you're already in a relationship, I do see something with that relationship, you know, taking off to the next level or heightening in some way. There could be like maybe there's just somehow more love in your life. So if you're in a relationship, to make this more clear, if you're in a relationship, that relationship is either ascending to the next level of that relationship. So that would be like moving in together, going steady, getting proposed to, having a wedding, you know, planning a family in the future, something like that. Or there could be more love in the sense that maybe your partner is planning something really special for you. Like maybe your partner is thinking like, oh, I want to like focus on our love and grow our love. Let's go on a vacation. Let's do something romantic for us. Like something like this. And again, if you're single, I am seeing like someone that you're maybe interested in and your love life being some sort of focus. And I feel like this is happening kind of within the next 3 months. To be a bit more specific, I guess it depends when you're watching this. This reading is technically sort of timeless. Like obviously you can watch it anytime between when I post it up until like the end of 2023. And it'll still be relevant. But from about 3 months of when I'm posting this, I do feel like there's some sort of ascension in your love life. So that is that. I am going to restart my camera really quick because it's going to cut out. So hold on, let me be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the camera always likes to cut out at 30 minutes. So I always have to like restart it. But yeah, that is what we have here for the rest of 2023 for you. Lots of different things. I also want to take out the Astro dice, and we are going to roll the zodiac sign dice 3 times to get the top 3 most likely zodiac signs that'll be in your life over these next few months. So let's go ahead and find out. So we have Pisces, we have Scorpio, 2 water signs. Scorpio again, Scorpio is prominent for you. Pisces, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. And then we also had the Queen of Cups, so that totally makes sense because Queen of Cups is like all those water signs as well, and we had Pisces and Scorpio. I would also say the zodiac sign of Cancer might be prominent for you as well, just because we do have a lot of like water energy in this reading. You might also be a water sign or have like prominent water sign energy in your birth chart. But then again, we also do have Sagittarius as well. So those are the top 3 most likely zodiac signs to be in your life. This could also be indicating like the new person who might be coming into your life, by the way. But that is what we have for you for your zodiac signs. Now we're going to roll the Astro dice all together just to get any last information for you. So let's see, we have, ooh, I like how that dice spinned a little bit there. That was fun. We have the 11th house, we have Cancer. What did I say about Cancer? I felt like Cancer was another one for you. And we have the North Node. You are definitely future oriented. The North Node is all about being future oriented and really being super focused. Like, you can think about the North Node as your destiny, your trajectory, a target that you want to hit, something that you want to move towards. And then the 11th house, there is expansion here. I do feel like you're going to be meeting someone new or making a new friend by the end of 2023, just because the 11th house definitely is like a friendship sort of house that encompasses friendships, and the North Node can indicate that we are meeting someone new. Maybe they are likely to be a Cancer or some sort of water zodiac sign. Also here, I feel like you are wanting to bring more nurture. And we had that within this reading, but Cancer is very nurturing. You're wanting to create more nurture in your life and also expand your life. I also feel like you're wanting to go after your goals in a more nurturing, caring, but determined way. So that's something that I feel like you're also focusing on, because maybe in the past you've had a tendency to maybe be hard on yourself in order to reach goals, but maybe you're realizing that that causes burnout and it causes anxiety and frustration. And so maybe now you have this new sort of idea of like, okay, let's go towards the goals with a nurturing mindset and nurture myself along the way, because oddly you do get to your goals a hell of a lot faster when you nurture yourself along the way, because you have fuel in the tank. It's like trying to drive a car on empty. It doesn't work. But when you nurture the car, it drives better, the performance is better. So of course you're going to actually get to your destination a lot easier with less challenges and obstacles along the way. So that's what we have here for you, my beautiful group number ones. Thank you so much for joining me here today for this video. That is everything that you can be expecting for the rest of 2023. It looks like there's lots of different things, but a major certain focus to get to a certain goal. So thank you so much for joining me here. Sending you so much love, and until next time, bye. All right, group number two, go grab some tea or whatever else you like to drink, and let's come and hang out together and see what is in store for you for the rest of 2023. Let's go ahead and dive right in. My love, group number two. I really like how this reading is starting out. Okay, so we have the shining star, which is glow. I no longer dim my light. I shine bright for all to see. Then we have the Empress of the Night, which is finale. After the storm, I emerge a shiny new star. And then we have the lapis lazuli star, which is starlight. My inner vision guides me to my higher purpose. My love, my love, my love. This is such a fun reading. So let's dive in. First off, to point out the obvious, let's talk about this card, the glow card. Shining star. I no longer dim my light. I shine bright for all to see. I think one of the most major things that's happening for you over these next few months before the end of 2023 is I feel like you're making a promise to yourself that you no longer want to people please or dim your light out of being afraid of disappointing someone else or having a different opinion than someone else, or, not wanting to step on other people's toes and, dimming your light in order to make other people feel comfortable or in order to make yourself feel comfortable, because sometimes we also dim our light because we are afraid of being fully authentic. We're afraid of living in our full truth. Maybe we are scared of judgment, or we are scared of rejection. And so we dim our light because we're like, oh, well, if I'm dim, then no one, I'm not going to bring attention to me or whatever. So one of the biggest things that I'm feeling for you is you are ready to come out of your shell. I feel like you've been in a little bit of a shell, maybe holding yourself back a bit when it comes to your dreams, your goals, your desires, maybe when it comes to expressing yourself fully. I feel like you've been living in a little bit of a shell. And I feel like through the rest of the month, you are so ready to come out of that shell. You are so ready to fully own who you are. And I feel like you desire to be you. And you desire to stop hiding yourself. So that's one of the biggest things. Also, if you've been wanting to do something with your life that requires maybe stepping into the spotlight a little bit and coming out of your shell in that sense, if you've been wanting to do something like that, I feel like the rest of this year is giving you the opportunity to do that. And I see you taking that opportunity and saying, okay, let me do it. Let me dive right in and stop hiding and stop perpetually leaving myself in the planning stage. Like, I feel like some of you, maybe you purposely plan things endlessly and you're like, no, let me plan it more. Let me think about it more. Let me wait on it a little bit more until it feels right. But I think you're getting to this point of realizing that it's never going to feel right, and you could endlessly plan something. And it's just kind of like, at that point, it's just another form of procrastination. At some point, we're just going to need to do it and get it done. So if you have been on that train, you're getting off of that train. And also, this is the finale. I emerge a shiny new star. You are emerging. Like, that's it. That's one of the things here. Also, the finale. This is pointing out something in your life. There might have been something recently in your life that's been happening, or maybe you're just ready to close out a certain chapter of your life. Like, this is the finale. You're like, okay, I don't want to be in this chapter anymore. I am beginning a new chapter. So yeah, you're closing that out. And it's interesting that we have two cards that are talking about shining your light, and then this card is talking about the night, but emerging as a shiny new star. If you have been sort of like being quiet or sort of staying in the shadows or in the dark a little bit when it comes to what you really want, or when it comes to who you are and your personality, again, I just see you emerging and I see you closing that chapter. But this card specifically talks after the storm. There might be something that's like shaken up your energy a little bit. And maybe this was even a long time ago, but maybe because of this certain storm that we've experienced in our past, it caused us to like close down and close off. And maybe we were afraid to come back out of our shell because we were afraid that that storm is still there. But I feel like, honestly, this is something that happened quite some time ago for most of you. And you've still remained in your shell because of that storm. But the thing is that storm is blown over. That storm is gone. And I also feel like if you're really wanting to be you and be your greatest and create the greatest story, it's going to require you to come out of your shell and expand yourself and not be afraid of the storms. Storms inevitably do come every now and again, but we can't live every single day in our house being afraid that there's going to be a storm that day. You know, because not every day there's going to be a storm. Most days are shiny, bright, and great. Storms do come on. That's when we go back in our house, but we shouldn't live every single day in the house fearing the storm. Does that make sense? Like, I'm using this so metaphorically right now, but hopefully that makes sense. We also have, again, the lapis lazuli star, starlight. My inner vision guides me to my higher purpose. I do feel like you have a strong inner vision of what you want to manifest, but it's going to require, again, coming out of your shell in order to manifest it. And I also feel like you're wanting to get in touch with a higher purpose, but again, it's going to require this sort of confidence and being able to follow that vision. And that vision is guiding you to come out of your shell in order to follow it. So that is some of the biggest stuff that I see here for you to start us off. The next card that we have, we're diving into some tarot now, and the next one that we have is the Death card. And I actually love this card. It is one of my favorites of all of the tarot cards. Reason being is because the Death card talks about transformation. So you have been like a butterfly in a cocoon, and it is time to come out of the cocoon. I also feel like you're not who you were when you entered the cocoon. It's almost like you were a caterpillar when you entered the cocoon, but you've done so much learning whilst in that cocoon, whilst in your shell. I feel like you've done so much growth, so much learning, and you have wings now. And now it's the time to crack open that shell. And even though it's going to be a little bit hard to emerge from it, because every butterfly emerging from a cocoon has a little bit of a struggle, but that struggle is going to be so worth it. Another example that I have to give, and I know I've given this example a lot in my tarot readings, so if you've heard this before, I love you and thanks for bearing with me, but this example is so good. So if you help a butterfly out of its cocoon because it has to struggle to like get out, if you help the butterfly out of the cocoon, it literally won't be strong enough to fly because the cocoon, the reason why it's difficult to get out of is because it actually is almost like a big workout that strengthens the butterfly so that it does have the strength to use its wings, because using its wings is like, those wings are massive. You do need a lot of muscles to use those. So of course, getting out of the cocoon is nature's way of building the butterfly's strength. And I feel like that's something that you need to hear right now. Not saying that coming out of your shell is going to be hard, but it might be something that you're like, ooh, I fear it a little bit, but it's actually the best thing for you to face that and overcome that. Because I feel like it's going to be strengthening you in a certain way where now you're going to be able to fly. And look at, she literally has wings here and there's a butterfly and I just noticed that. It's very subtle, but I literally just noticed that. So that's you. Like, you're growing your wings through the end of this year and it's going to be beautiful. And the death card talks about that transformation. You're no longer who you were. You are no longer the same person who entered that cocoon. That's for sure. You are no longer that same person. You are emerging a brand new you, and it is time, my love. We also have the Sun card. The Sun card is reversed in this reading, but the Sun card is one of those cards that is so positive, whether upright or reversed. When it is reversed, it can indicate that there is like a little bit of clouds with our sunshine, but I don't want you to take that in a bad way because clouds are not a bad thing. However, I feel like you are emerging your light and it's happening a little bit slowly, but that's a beautiful thing. So things might be cloudy, and cloudy indicates that it's not fully figured out yet. So maybe as you're emerging from your cocoon, maybe you don't have 100% of your life figured out yet. And I feel like that's what this Sun reversed is talking about. Like, it's a little bit cloudy, maybe the entire vision isn't fully there yet. However, it is time to emerge regardless. And I feel like this card is coming up as a reminder to not endlessly stay stuck in the planning stage. You can start moving towards and building and creating what it is you desire before having the full vision figured out. And I feel like that's why this card is showing up in the reverse position here. Then we have the Four of Cups being reversed. You are so ready to take hold of a new opportunity. And I do feel like there's going to be a new idea or a new opportunity coming in your life by the end of 2023. And you're also ready to stop giving power to past issues or past problems. I feel like you're ready to take on the new opportunities. And I also feel like you're almost getting like, how do I say this? I feel like you're almost getting tired of your own excuses almost. Or like, not necessarily your own excuses, but things that have maybe been reasons to not change your life or reasons to maybe stay where you are. I feel like you're so done with those and you're like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I am taking this new path. I'm taking the new opportunity. We also have the High Priestess. She is being reversed. And I feel like she's being reversed because the High Priestess is a little bit in her shell. In the reverse position, I feel like this is talking about you again emerging. And I'm also hearing the words of trust yourself. Even if you don't know what that looks like yet, even if you don't have the full picture planned out, trust in yourself and know that you are on the right path. That is something that I feel like Spirit really wants you to know right now. You are on the right path. You are. One of the best quotes, I forgot who is the, author of this quote, but the quote is, "You do not need to see the entire staircase before taking the first step." And I feel like that's a quote that is like perfect for you right now. You do not need to see the entire staircase before taking the first step. All right, let's see. What other cards do we have for you? We also have the Moon card coming up for you. So the Moon card talks about different fears that we might have that we need to overcome. This is like fears of stepping into the unknown, for example, because the Moon card which is kind of like the sun being reversed, where things are a little bit cloudy. But the moon card is when we have a hard time seeing that next chapter, and the next chapter might be a little scary because we're like, oh my God, I've never stepped foot down this path before, so I don't know what to expect. I don't know what is going to happen. I do feel like you're going to be taking a chance on something, taking a leap into something new before the end of 2023. You are taking a leap into something new, and part of you might be a little bit worried about that. Part of you might second guess yourself a little bit. And something that I'm hearing is don't overly second guess yourself to the point where you revert back to your old self and go back into your shell. This is time to, if you make a promise to yourself, and if you say, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to dedicate to it, don't back out of it out of fear. Don't back out of it out of, wanting to just go back and revert back to the things that feel comfortable for you, because I feel like you're so ready to come out of that shell. And this also says you deserve to achieve your innermost desires. You deserve to achieve your innermost desires. I had to say it twice. So when it comes to following what you want, you deserve to achieve that. Don't second guess yourself, and don't try to back out of it because of all of a sudden we get scared, or all of a sudden we want to self-sabotage it because we're like, ooh, it's scary. And maybe we're scared of getting hurt. Maybe we're scared of rejection. Maybe we're scared of failure. And so it's so much easier for us to revert back to what's comfortable, but do not do that. That is like such a strong message that I'm hearing for you, is don't revert back to that. Okay. So this is time to be strong and dedicate to what you really desire. We also have the card of overflow. You will soon be thriving with an overflow of abundance and blessings. I feel like this is happening as you follow these new desires, as you come out of your shell and, start creating and, dedicating to these new desires. You will soon be thriving with an overflow of abundance and blessings. I see you being actually quite successful at whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest, whatever it is that's calling you to come out of your shell. I see you being quite successful at it, but you cannot fall into the realm of like second guessing yourself and then backing out of it. Because if you do that, you are going to end up right where you always have been. You're going to end up right back in that shell. Do you want to stay there? Probably not. I feel like you already know and you've decided that you don't want to stay there. So let's not do that. Let's move towards coming out of our shell, even if it's a little scary, because it's going to lead us to the abundance. It is going to lead us to our desires. And soon you'll be overflowing with abundance. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? Why? Like, this is so great. I feel like you're going to be so thankful that you did it. You're going to be so thankful. I see success happening for you. The fact that we even have the sun card coming out means you are going to be successful. And it also means you're going to be learning. And as you walk down this path, it's going to become clearer and clearer, but you have to keep moving down the path in order for it to become clearer and clearer, in order for that fog to lift. So the only way to see through the fog is to keep taking one step at a time, and it gets clearer and clearer one step at a time. You see more that's ahead of you as you keep moving through. So one thing that I'm seeing in here is like, keep moving, keep going. That is a strong message coming out here. We also have the card of Polaris. Do you stand still or follow that which beckons you towards it? Okay, that's exactly what we're already talking about. I'm going to read that one more time because that is such a perfect metaphor for everything in this reading. Do you stand still or follow that which beckons you towards it? Which do you choose? I feel like you're going to be following that inner guidance. You are absolutely following that. Let's dive into some more cards here for you. So group number 2. Let's see what else we get for you. See, group number 2. What else do we have for my group 2s for the rest of 2023? Okay, we have get curious, patience, and fate. Expanding your wings here. Patience. I feel like I feel like one of the strongest messages for you is you don't need to rush forward in order to be successful. You don't need to rush after it, like lightning. You can move slowly in the direction of your dreams and build it with surety, strength, security, and determination and move forward. So that's a message that I'm definitely feeling for you. It is time to absolutely, yes, get out of your shell and to walk forward, but it's not a race, right? It's not a race to get to that goal. And I feel like that's something that's really important for you to know. Also with fate, I feel like you're an egg that's hatching. It's kind of like the cocoon. And as you hatch, as you emerge from your cocoon, I feel like you have a new destiny. I feel like you have a new purpose, to be honest with you. I also feel like you're going to be discovering more about what that is as you move forward. Even if it's slightly unclear still at first, I feel like there's a new sort of purpose emerging for you. And I feel like that's going to be really exciting. And I feel like it's going to reveal more of itself to you through the year of 2024. It's going to reveal and build more and more. And I feel like halfway through the year of 2024, that new purpose is going to be really clear to you. And it's going to be so much more developed because you're developing it from here on out, right? There's sort of this new purpose that's emerging. So let's go ahead and dive into some more cards here. And let's see what else we get for you. Group two, the rest of 2023. Feel this one. Intention. What is your intention moving forward? What do you want to achieve? And what do you want to create through the rest of this year? The intentions that you create now, I think are going to be what's literally going to be building everything for you for the rest of this year. We also have the good fortune card. When it comes to money and when it comes to like luck, I feel like you have luck on your side through the rest of this year. I feel like things are going to turn out better than you expect them to through the rest of the year. So when it comes to coming out of your shell, taking a step into a new direction, you might be expecting the worst to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly feel like you're going to be surprised at how much better things are going to happen for you as they unfold through the rest of the year. When it comes to your money, I also feel like you are wanting to improve that in some way. And I feel like the ideas and the opportunities to improve that are also going to be flowing through. I also see you maybe like putting more time, money, love, and effort into yourself and doing good things for yourself that make you feel really good. That's another thing that I'm seeing here. I feel like it's going to make you feel really good. You're emerging as a new you. And I feel like you're also like investing more into yourself. This card is really making me feel like you're investing into yourself. And that's going to really pay off for you. Let's see if we can get any more cards from this deck, and then we will go into our Astro Dice. Let's see. I'm feeling these two. So we have cooperation and don't compromise. There could be people that are really helping you or people that are on a similar path as you that you're going to be surrounding yourself by. And I feel like that's going to be really nice for you to have people that are on a similar path that you're able to like share ideas with, that are able to help support you. I feel like you're going to be really supported in this new direction, to be honest with you. I feel like you're going to be really supported. There could be someone that you're collaborating with directly on this new path, or there's going to be people that are on a similar path that are supporting you that you're able to really like connect with and again share ideas with, which is going to be really nice. I also see that you're going to be standing your ground on certain things that you are determined about. So when it comes to your vision, I see you being able to really stand your ground on those things. I feel like you're going to be setting really proper boundaries, and I feel like you've realized the importance of setting boundaries. I also feel like when it comes to like your love life and everything else in your life, you're no longer wanting to settle for things that aren't what you really want. You do not want to settle for those things. I feel like you're looking for, I feel like honestly your standards have raised. Your standards have raised, group number 2. The standards that you have for your life, your career, your love life, your friendships, everything in your life. I feel like your standards have raised and you are no longer compromising on those things. And I feel like you're so ready to put up boundaries and not walls. Walls are like not healthy, but boundaries are healthy. I feel like you're so ready to put up proper boundaries in your life that help you stay on track with what you want and with what upholds your standards. So I feel like that's going to be another big thing there. Let's go ahead and dive into some astro dice to end off this reading. So we're going to take our zodiac sign dice. We're going to roll it 3 times to get the top 3 most likely zodiac signs to be in your life through the rest of this year. So let's see who is most likely to be in your life. We have Sagittarius, Scorpio. Wow, this is like group number 1. And we have Gemini. So Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Gemini seem like they're really prominent zodiac signs to be in your life through the rest of this year. So this could be talking about the people that you're going to be either collaborating with or cooperating with or gaining that support from, and other people that are going to be significant in your life through the rest of the year. And now let's go ahead and take the all 3 zodiac sign dice and get any last information on this reading for you. Ooh, we have more Gemini energy coming through. Mars in Gemini. Ooh, in the 6th house. You're building something. And Mars in Gemini in the 6th house, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of multitasking. This can also talk about collaboration, by the way, in the 6th house. There could be collaboration when it comes to your work. So maybe you're going to be working with a partner on something, or again, you're going to have someone that you're really close to that's maybe on the same page with the same goals that you're going to be able to work alongside with. That's going to really help you be building a certain vision. But I see a very productive energy. Let me just say that. Mars in the 6th house is extremely productive. Don't let perfection get in your way, however, because sometimes when Mars is in the 6th house, we can get stuck on perfection. So if you have a tendency to need things to be perfect, let this be your sign to not let perfection stop you from moving forward. There comes a time where certain things just need to be done and be as they are. However, it is nice to really strive to do your best. That is amazing. Yes, but it needs to be balanced with the energy of also knowing when to say, okay, this is done, it's complete, because I don't want to get stuck on the perfection loop where, perfection is obviously unattainable. So that's just like a little side advice, little piece thing that I wanted to say. But lots of productivity when it comes to work, lots of collaboration energy, getting stuff done, reading books, or creating something that has to deal with writing or communication. That's a powerful energy through the rest of the year. And let's see if I see anything else coming through. If you've needed to network at all or meet certain people to make your dreams happen, that's something that's going to be coming through. However, I feel like, you yourself and you are like all that you really need to actually make things happen. However, if you are looking for, networking or something like that, that's also a very positive thing that you're going to be able to create and attain through the rest of the year. So that is what we have for you, my beautiful group number 2s. Thank you so much for joining me here today for this reading for the rest of 2023 and the things that you can be expecting and the energies that are going to be going on for you. I am sending you all so much love, and I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, so group number 3, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so group number 3, here's what we have for you. We have the aquamarine star, which is expression. I express my intuition with self-confidence and love. We have the lost star, which is the rebirth card, out of darkness into the light. And then we have the priestess card, which is embody. I am the embodiment of the divine feminine. So Let's dive in. First off, the fact that we have this lost star card, this can indicate that there's something in our lives where we feel like maybe we are unsure about what our direction is, or maybe we've gotten to a point in our life where we're like, okay, what's the next chapter? What's the next thing? And maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't know what we want next, or maybe it's just like slightly unclear. And so maybe we don't know what move to make next. However, what I'm seeing for you from now up until the end of the year, you are starting to gain clarity on this. It's out of darkness into the light. I feel like you are needing a rebirth because maybe, where you're currently at, maybe you've already kind of reached the peak of where you're currently at. Maybe you're like, okay, well, what's next? And I do feel like you're wanting more purpose again. You're wanting more magic and more inspiration. And these stars that are shooting through here on this card are really making me feel like there's this spark that's going to be coming through to you through the end of this year, by the end of this year, this new spark of inspiration with this direction. And I really feel like this card where it's talking about I express my intuition, I feel like your intuition is going to be something that's really important for you through the rest of this year. And being able to follow those little intuitive sparks, because I do feel like there's going to be these small little things that are sort of happening and building up from now until the end of this year that are going to be building up a new inspiration and a new direction for you. So that's going to be really fun, really exciting. And I feel like things are going to become more passionate, and I also feel like there's just like, this is your time of building a new story. This is your time of having sort of a blank canvas in front of you where you get to start painting any picture you want. So maybe start asking yourself, what are all the things that I love? What are all the things that make me so joyful? What is something I can bring to the world to help uplift the world? I know those questions might sound a little cliche, but they're actually so powerful and all of that. But also, from now until the end of the year, you are also going to be enhancing your throat chakra, especially if you've been feeling like your throat chakra has been closed a bit. Like maybe we feel like it's been hard for us to express our true feelings, or for us to express what we really want, what our wants and what our needs are. Maybe expressing that has been a little bit hard. Maybe we've even felt blocked at times. Like maybe we've had writer's block or creativity block where we're like, okay, what do I do next? And if so, I feel like you are working on your throat chakra energy from now through the end of the year, and your expression. You're going to get so much better at expressing yourself. And if you've wanted to improve your speech in a new way, or if you've wanted to like learn another language, or improve your grammar, or improve your writing or speaking, maybe you've wanted to get better at public speaking, or maybe part of using your voice or part of communication or writing is part of your purpose in some way. And maybe you're going to be working on that skill. And as we can see in this card, there's also music, like music notes on her back. So maybe there's something to deal with sound or music, writing music, or even just writing in general. Like this doesn't have to deal with music, but I feel like for some of you watching this, maybe like 30% of you, there's like a musical thing going on from now through the end of this year that maybe that's like a creative outlet for you, or maybe that's part of your purpose in some way. But I do feel like you're surrounded by a lot of energy that's pushing you to use your voice more and to stand up in the spotlight and not be afraid to express yourself. And this could even be on such a more fundamental, smaller, not small, I guess, but like this could be on such a fundamental level, such as like expressing what you actually expect and need from, the world and for yourself and all of that. So it could be something as simple as that, or something more complex. But either way, this is calling you to open up your throat chakra more. You're being called to do that from now until the end of this year. And that's something that I feel like you are going to be working on, and your skills are going to be enhancing in that area. Also, with this card, the Priestess, I'm the embodiment of the Divine Feminine. This is about honoring yourself and honoring that not every single moment needs to be high level production and productiveness. If you're like me and you're in a little bit more of the Western culture that really puts an emphasis on working all the time, in fact, there's more than even just the Western culture is like this, but like there's sometimes this push to be productive all the time. However, that's not necessarily like the best thing in the world, because sometimes we need, you know, time to relax, time to actually have fun. This world is not just about doing, right? It's also about being and living. And I also feel like from now until the end of this year, even if things are moving a little bit slower for you in life, I think it's calling you to be a little bit more in your divine feminine. And even if, you know, no matter like who you are, all of us have a balance of feminine and masculine energy. Masculine energy is more of the action and doing kind of energy, whereas the feminine energy is the relaxing and nurturing and being type of energy. So I feel like you're also being called to just be, relax, take a breather, enjoy this time where maybe you're not being called to like be insanely productive. You may still at times have days where you're like ultra productive, but I do also feel like you've been feeling this calling to relax a little bit more. Take time for you, nurture yourself, take more time to relax and recuperate and regenerate, because I feel like, yeah, that's also something that's going to be really prominent for you for the rest of this year. You're being called to do that. And I feel like you've also been feeling like a little bit of a need for that. Like your body's been wanting to have time to rest and recuperate and relax and not feel guilty about it, you know? Because sometimes we feel guilty when we do that. However, I feel like for you, you're being called to do that. And, you know, we don't have to feel guilty for that. So let's dive into the next few cards that we have. We have Voyage. Some of you might be called to travel, just to point out the obvious. But this card says, a path meant just for you is waiting. Ancient spirits are guiding your way. So even if you are confused about your path right now, there is a path emerging. There is a path emerging. And like I was saying in the beginning, it's like your blank canvas moment. You get to start painting and creating and architecting what you want your next chapter to be. That's exciting. That is so exciting. So explore. Like this is also an exploration card. Explore what your interests are and explore what are the possibilities with those interests. There's actually like a Japanese philosophy called Ikigai. It's spelled Ikigai. And it's a philosophy about how to find your purpose and how to create purpose. It's really cool. Highly recommend looking into that if that's something that you feel called to look into. Then we also have the sea snake. You are in a space of embracing your psychic senses. For a lot of you who chose this pile, I do feel like you have a strong intuition. I feel like you have a strong intuition. However, when you are ultra productive and things almost feel chaotic in your life, I feel like it's hard to tap into your intuition. But if you've been seeking guidance and you've been wanting to tap into your intuition more, something that I'm really feeling for you is taking time out to rest and relax. I was trying to like combine those two words. To rest and relax is going to be the time where your intuition is going to be able to speak to you the loudest. If you've been even called to meditate more, or if you've been just hearing that all around, like people have been talking about meditation, or maybe you're an avid meditator already, I don't know, but if you've been feeling the call to meditate more, or if you've been hearing that around, this is your sign to do that, because I feel like you're going to tap into your intuition so much more, and these sparks of inspiration are going to come a lot easier. And there's actually a study that shows that if you're productively and avidly trying to seek out ideas and inspiration, it is almost impossible to find ideas and inspiration. However, when you're in this space of just relaxing and not trying to be productive, not trying to find answers, but you're genuinely just relaxing to relax, all of a sudden that's when creativity sparks. Always. Like, I can't even tell you how many times, like if not every single time I've ever had an amazing creative idea, it's always come to me either when I'm in the shower and I'm not thinking about anything else and I'm literally just la-di-da-di-da, like showering, and then all of a sudden I'm like, amazing idea. Or sometimes we get the best ideas when we're about to fall asleep, because that's a moment of relaxing. Or if all of a sudden you're like taking a nap and you're like, wait a second, I have a great idea. Like, it always comes during the moments of relaxing. because that's when creativity flows, because all of a sudden our energy channels are open, our energy channels are flowing. But when we're like super, focused on something or doing something, our creative channels are usually shut off, because that's, your body's in that moment of feeling like I need to do and be physical. However, creativity is not necessarily a physical thing. It's more of like an energetic thing. So that's my advice. If you want to tap into your intuition more and you want to have these sparks of ideas come to you, it's not about avidly seeking them. It's more about resting and relaxing and just allowing, because that's when they come up the most. And there's literal studies done on that, by the way. And they've also interviewed tons of people who are like some of the top creative people in the world. And they asked, like, when do you get your creative ideas? How do your creative ideas come to you? And like literally all of them, it's like when I least expect it and when I'm not looking for it, that's when the creative ideas actually come. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. The next cards that we have for you, we have the 10 of Cups being reversed here. There might be something or some aspect of your life where you are seeking to fulfill that area of your life. I feel like this recently came up in another reading, and if you were part of that reading where 10 of Cups also showed up reversed, you're on that same energy, you're on that same wavelength right now. And this indicates that our exciting moment is still building. Our feeling of fulfillment is being created. And you might be in a moment of your life right now where you're wondering, when are things going to start progressing and growing? When am I going to see the results of all of my labor? That is growing right now. Okay, I can confirm it is growing right now. And you're going to see progress very soon. You're going to be seeing progress soon. However, if you're also wanting that creative idea, I really feel like it's going to come through rest and relaxation and rejuvenation. I feel like that's what your body needs right now, group 3. And so for the rest of this year, I feel like it's more about honoring your body and not overly pushing yourself, especially if you need a little bit of a break, is something that I'm hearing. Make time for you, make time to have fun. We also have the Star card reversed. I feel like some of you are also really wanting to do a massive clean out, especially if you find yourself getting so distracted with so many things. I feel like from now until the end of the year, you are also like getting rid of all of those things that are such a distraction. I also feel like you're going to be dealing with like small little things that have needed to get done for quite some time, so that you no longer need to focus on that and you can come into a space of rest and relaxation, because you don't have a million different things on your mind that you're like, oh, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to do that. I feel like it's going to be so amazing for you to get all of those little things kind of out of the way and complete and done. And then all of a sudden it's like, yes, I have time for me, I can breathe, rest, relax. And that's when your creativity is going to spark. And I feel like that's when these new ideas are going to come to you at their peak. Ooh. And then the next card that we have, this is exciting. We have the 9 of Cups upright. The 9 of Cups is one of my favorite cards because it talks about attaining a wish. So you are going to see progress by the end of the year. Let me promise you that right now. When it comes to making progress towards what you want and towards a feeling of fulfillment, you are absolutely making progress towards that. I also feel like it's going to feel so good for you to get these little kind of things out of the way so that you can focus on something that's a little bit bigger. I feel like a little bit of your energy is being stolen away right now because of the small little things, the little nuances that's like, oh, I need to like take care of this thing and I need to take care of that and I need to take care of this. And then this little thing standing in the way that I have pushed off for the past few months. It's going to be so amazing for you to get all of those little things done so that you have time to rest and relax and your mind can actually rest and relax. Because I'm getting this feeling like your mind has been like this chaotic cloud a little bit because of all the little things that you need to get done. This is time to minimize those things, deal with them so that your mind can be free and rest and truly relax. And that's when the creativity is going to pour in for you. Literally, it's going to pour in. Like that's what this card shows. I don't know if you can see this on here. Let me hold it up closer to the camera so that you can. The creativity is literally pouring in. The fulfillment is pouring in. You're going to have more time for yourself and all of that. So let's get into our last card is the Devil card. Okay, this is actually surprisingly also one of my favorite cards just because of the amazing advice that comes in this card. And the fact that anytime this card shows up, I feel like it's an opportunity to liberate yourself so deeply. So let's dive into the meaning of this card. Whenever the devil comes up, you almost feel like you are tied down by certain things, and this could be talking about all those little things that you have to still do and overcome, but also it can talk about our own limitations that we put on ourselves, saying like, I can't do this because of this, or I can't go after my dream because of that. I also feel like you're going to become really aware of the things in your life that are holding you back from what you really want, and you have to release yourself from those things in order to start going towards what you really want. I think you're gonna be having these big realizations of different things and ways in which you've been held back by certain stuff. And just the whole end of 2023 is like this time of clearing all of that so that you can go after that fulfillment. Clearing those things that are keeping you stuck and chained. It is going to liberate you to where all of a sudden it's like, yes, we can go after those things that are the most fulfilling. I feel like you're also going to be breaking away from other limitations. And also, the devil can talk about getting rid of toxic things in your life. So if there's anything in your life right now that makes you feel bad and you feel chained to it, such as gossip or being around people who steal your energy, feeling like you are being guilted into something, guilted into, giving someone all your time and energy, being guilted into doing something that you really just don't want to do. There's certain things that I feel like you are going to be seeing for their true colors, and the rest of 2023 is about clearing those things so that you can have your fulfillment. But it's about putting up proper boundaries so that your energy is not being stolen by the things that you don't want. Also taking care of all those little things that you do need to get done so that you have the freedom to focus on what you really want and you're not chained to all of these different things mentally and physically and emotionally. It is a big clearing month. I see you breaking the chains. If you feel like you're chained up by certain stuff, the rest of 2023 is about breaking those chains so that you have that freedom. It is clearing all of that. So let's dive into our next few cards here, my loves. Group 3. What else can you expect? We have the fate card. This one came up for another group too. This is about a rebirth. Rebirthing. Being cracked open as well. Cracking open something that you've held within. Maybe you've been holding certain things within, holding certain desires within, holding certain feelings within. Being cracked open. And then getting creative, especially if you've had like a creative block and you haven't been feeling like, if you felt stuck, this is the end of this year is about you opening up to expansion, breaking the chains, breaking out of the egg, out of the shell, out of the incubation stage so that you can expand. Voyage is also like, I'm oddly feeling some sort of travel opportunity before the end of the year for you, or at least planning travel for the next year at the very least. However, I do feel like there's an opportunity for you to travel by the end of the year. We also have the reflect card. The word transparency is coming to my mind. Why is transparency coming to my mind? I see you being more open about your feelings and being transparent too, especially if you felt like you couldn't speak up about your true feelings about someone or about certain things in your life. I feel like you're being given the opportunity to be really transparent and open so that you can break patterns that you don't want to be stuck in anymore. That's going to be really important. Also, shadows into light. It said it on one of these cards earlier, turning shadows into light. So turning things that maybe we've kept you know, to ourselves for a long time. I feel like if you've been keeping like your true thoughts to yourself for a while, I feel like you're getting to this point where you're like, I need to be transparent so I can free and liberate myself from this issue. Sometimes, like, you know, it's hard to be real, it's hard to be truthful, it's hard to be transparent, but sometimes it's literally the healthiest thing for us because it sets us free and it sets other people free, because once they know our truth, it's like, oh, okay, like now we're all being set free. It's a really positive thing to, like, you know, give yourself the opportunity to be honest. So that's also coming through. If you are into any sort of art practice, by the way, such as like painting or some sort of other art practice of some kind, I feel like you're getting back into it or deeper into it by the end of the year. And there might even be a big project that you're going to be working on that calls for you to be more creative. And I feel like it's going to be something that's also really inspiring and brings like more joy to your life. It's also going to be something that really helps you if you have a tendency to like overthink or get stuck in your mind or get stuck in your thoughts a lot to the point where you feel like you can't move or can't do anything. Getting back into a creative practice or starting a new project creatively, I think is going to help you so freaking much. And I see you doing that. I see you starting that. Honestly, within like the next month or two, I see you starting that again or starting a bigger project that you get to focus on. And it is going to do wonders for you mentally and all of that. Also, we have the wisdom card. There is certain things that maybe you were once confused about that have maybe been keeping you stuck over this last year that you're gaining really important insight on, and you'll never have to deal with those problems again moving forward, because it's like, it's like you're up leveling, you're growing in some way that's going to be really powerful for you. We also have the card of intention, making your intentions known. I feel like you've had certain intentions for a while, but maybe you haven't known how to go about them. I feel like the answers for those are coming. You felt stuck on something though. Like before the end of the year, this is about liberating yourself so you no longer feel stuck on it. And sometimes it's hard to get ourselves unstuck. And sometimes we know exactly how to do it, but we just don't want to do it because it might require us to, you know, be truthful or to be honest or to let someone down in the process sometimes. But it can be the most liberating thing. And I feel like you are... But we can do it with love and compassion. That's the thing. We can say our truth. We can say our honesty with love and compassion. Maybe that's why we have the throat chakra. Maybe there's something that you really need to speak up about, or somebody that you really need to talk to about something. And maybe it's going to be an important conversation to have. And maybe it's going to allow you this liberation instead of keeping it all inside, keeping it all within. Like there is something that I feel like you've been really feeling like you need to talk about. You need to like speak up about. Before the end of the year, I'm seeing that you are doing that. And I see that it is going to liberate you. And I feel like you already know deep down inside that having this talk and getting this off your chest is going to liberate you. We also have Inspired Warrior. This is exciting. So by the end of the year, I think as you liberate yourself from these things that are, again, keeping you stuck, that liberation is going to give you the freedom. It's like your creative flow comes back because your mind isn't taken up by all of these things that are chaining you down and worrying you and keeping you stuck. Once we deal with the issue, then it's done and we're liberated and it feels good. And then you come back to the inspired warrior energy where you're like, you know what, I got this. That's when you step back into your power. I feel like this is your time to step back into your power, to become that inspired warrior once again, rather than being stuck because we're like, oh, I don't want to deal with this problem sucks. Like, you know, it requires you to step into your power, but that's a beautiful thing because then once you do that, like the growth you are gaining from that, I think is just going to be amazing. You won't have to get stuck in those problems again because now you have the knowledge of how to deal with them, and you've done it before, and you won't have to reach or dive into that problem again. It won't show up again because, again, you've learned the lesson. So, stepping into your power by the end of the year, that's exciting. Let's go ahead and dive into our astro dice, and let's see the top 3 most prominent zodiac signs that'll be in your life through the end of this year, from now until the end of this year. So let's go ahead and roll our zodiac sign dice 3 times to get the top 3 most likely zodiac signs that you can expect in your life. We have Sagittarius been showing up for everybody. Sagittariuses are clearly just everywhere through the end of 2023 because everyone's getting Sagittarius so far. If group 4 also gets Sagittarius, that's just going to be wild. Okay, we also have Cancer. Cancer's been showing up a lot, so Sagittarius and Cancer people literally are going to be everywhere. And we have Aries. So Sagittarius, Aries, and Cancer are the top 3 most likely zodiac signs to be in your life through the end of this year. Let's go ahead and roll all of the dice together now to get any last information for you. So we have Mercury in Taurus in the 8th house. This is communication, my love. This is communication, and the 8th house is transformation. There is something that will be transformed through open communication. It is going to get transformed. Okay? But this is also like, yeah, being transformed. I'm hearing the word with Taurus, letting go of stubbornness in order to be transformed. Letting go of stubbornness and doing things with love and compassion, because Taurus is also an energy of love and compassion. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Also with Mercury in the 8th house, I think you're going to be doing a transformation on a personal level. And your mental health is going through a transformation in a very positive way, to where you are going to be more comfortable because you are up-leveling things and you are learning how to speak what you really desire. Also, this could, again, also be learning another language as well. And getting better at writing, getting better at communication, learning some really valuable lessons so that you will never run into the same issues anymore when it comes to these things. So that's going to be beautiful. That's going to be amazing. Group number 3, that is what we have for you. Lots around strengthening and opening up your throat chakra. So much around calling your power back and overcoming a big issue that you've been being like, it's been on your mind lately. You're going to be overcoming that because you're stepping into your power. And then this situation is going to be dealt with, and it's going to be dealt with transparency. It's going to strengthen your throat chakra. I think it's going to allow you to get creative again because it's going to clear away, and you're clearing away a lot of other things that have been stuck as distractions so that you can actually rest and relax. You've been needing rest and relaxation. Your mind has been like going 1,000,000 miles an hour, I feel like, to the point where it's like hard to get sleep. It's like your mind, it's been hard to quiet your mind down, which is, I think, why you've run into some writer's block, or maybe even feeling slightly lost at times, lost on what to do or how to handle all of this. You know deep down inside how to handle all this. It's through truth, transparency, love, and compassion. And again, as you deal with that, you'll never have to deal with it again. You are going to step into the inspired warrior energy, where now you can focus on the nurturing, the rest and relaxation that you deserve, because trust me, your mind deserves a break and deserves that rest and relaxation. So through the rest of the year, you're going to be able to have that. It's like this breath of fresh air. I feel like, honestly, once you deal with this issue and you express what's truly on your mind, and you keep your boundaries strong on what it is that you know that you need, and sticking to what you need for yourself. Sorry, my camera just cut out there. I am back. Sorry if you've missed anything there. But not letting the power win you, or not letting the problem win you over again, or or take control of you again. This is about you rising above that problem, calling your power back. I just really feel that. I really feel that. It's like being strong. And as you do that, oh my gosh, the liberation that comes from that, the mental freedom that you are going to have, the energetic and emotional freedom you are going to have because of that. There's something that I feel like you really need to cut ties with because it's been a ball and chain that has held you back in many ways. As you deal with this, my love, like I cannot stress it enough because I feel it so strongly for you right now. Like as you deal with this problem and fully like put your foot down with this so that it never has power over you again, I feel like it's going to liberate you in so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ways. And the strength that you have afterwards, the you that I can see, like after you are done dealing with this issue is just, it is so liberated. It is beautiful. You have so much more strength, so much more ease, literally breath of fresh air. Best way I can explain it. Breath of fresh air and freedom. Freedom. It's no longer going to be bogging your mind anymore. So that is what we have here for you, my loves. Group number 3 looks like handling things beautifully, freedom, so many good things coming for you through the last little half of this year and calling back so much freedom. Like this is such a powerful shifting point for you. I know I keep going on about this and I'm sorry if you're like, I'm done hearing this, but just the amazing shift that I see that you're going to be making as you release this issue, as you release this problem by facing it and dealing with it and overcoming it. Yeah, breath of fresh air. Just, the transformation that I see for you, beautiful. You're gonna go through an internal transformation where you're gonna know better how to communicate moving forward. And yeah, it's just gonna be great. It's going to be so great. So I'm sending you so much love. Group number 3, lots of things. I do feel you being able to like soar and fly after this and probably even maybe going on some sort of fun trip in some way or planning one for the next year. And that's what we have for you. So I'm sending you so much love. Group number 3, thank you so much for joining me here today. And until next time, bye. All right, my group number 4s, if you chose this pile, this is gonna be your reading that's gonna reveal all of the things that you can expect before the end of 2023. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, my loves, group number 4, we have the triple star grid align card. I connect and align with my higher consciousness. We also have the jade star, surrender. I'm ready to let go with self-compassion. And then the little star, divine. My inner child is whole and complete. One of the first things that I'm feeling for you is you are going to be accepting and making peace with a part of yourself that maybe you've been really feeling off with for the past while. Maybe there's a part of yourself that you've had a hard time accepting. Maybe there's a part of yourself that you've really been hard on and judgmental about. Maybe you've felt like, I don't know, maybe you've disliked certain things about yourself and you've been really judgmental about that. It's almost made you feel a little bit jaded. But what I see is you are doing this healing through the rest of the year. I honestly see you practicing a lot of self-love, and certain things that you've been pushing away or certain things about yourself that you've either been I hate to use this word disgusted because it's so strong, but I don't know, parts of yourself that you've really been turned off about or disliked or were hard on yourself with. You are learning how to love those parts of yourself and how to accept yourself, okay? I cannot stress that enough. You are learning how to accept parts of yourself that you have not accepted before in the past and you've been overly judgmental about and you've wanted to hide those parts and just turn them away. You're embracing yourself. And some of you might literally be doing this process called inner child healing, which is so powerful, by the way. So some of you might actually be doing specifically that. However, some of you might just be going through this process naturally, not even realizing what it is that you're doing, but it is healing of your inner child, because there might be wounded parts of yourself that you deny or push away or whatever, and you are making peace with this. And I see that you are going to be able to have a rebirth in that area of your life, because the more that we deny or push away parts of ourselves that we don't like we're unable to transform those because we're just constantly hiding them away. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to look at it. I see that you're going to be able to transform these things, find love and compassion, and possibly even have this sort of rebirth of yourself. And there's going to be a new view that you have of yourself by the end of the year, which is much more accepting, much more loving, and much more compassionate. And that's going to be one of the most beautiful things that I think is going to be happening for you from now until the end of this year. And I think that there's going to be some sort of beautiful experience that catapults this whole transformation and healing for you. It's going to be really nice. Also, another little aspect that I do want to point out, oddly, I feel like for some of you, children are going to be an important part of your life between now and the end of this year, and possibly even going into next year. Maybe some of you are thinking I think I really want to start a family, or I think I want to expand my family, or maybe some of you are welcoming in a new family member, either through maybe one of your siblings is having a kid, or whatever the case may be. Maybe one of your friends is getting pregnant, or maybe you are. So there's something here where there's some sort of family expansion, or children will somehow be important or significant. This also could be talking about your own inner child, but for a lot of you, I feel like it's talking about your inner child, plus also maybe children are actually going to be significant in some way. Maybe it's just something that you're realizing, maybe I want that. Maybe that's an idea, or some other form of this perhaps. We also have the align card. I connect and align with my higher consciousness. There's going to be an up level that you are going through from now until the end of this year. You're kind of aligning to a higher purpose by healing something that you were once denying. Because I feel like you haven't been able to step into your fullest light, or maybe you haven't been able to make progress towards a certain desire of yours because of this sort of part of yourself that you've been pushing away and hiding and being really hard on yourself with. It's almost stopped you from pursuing something in some way, or being able to expand in a way that you've always wanted to. But because of this healing that you're doing, it's going to allow you to expand so much more and align to a higher purpose. I feel like part of you might also know what that is, because maybe, for example, maybe you've been so overly judgmental with yourself about something to the point that you've told yourself oh, I can't go after this dream because of that. Or I can't do this because of that. It's just there's so much healing being done around this, and it's going to be liberating for you. So let's dive into some more cards here. We also have the Coral Reef card. You are the roots which provide nourishment for others to grow. That could oddly also be talking about kids, I want to say. But besides that, because I don't feel like everyone listening to this reading is all of a sudden having kids. That would be a lot of people. I do feel like for some of you, that is part of your next chapter for some of you. Probably not all of you. But the roots in which provide nourishment for others to grow. I also feel like a really beautiful, compassionate, wise part of yourself is being birthed. Not that you haven't been that before, because I feel like you already have been that, but you're taking it to a whole other level in this next chapter and over these next few months. And I feel like the healing that you're doing is somehow going to help you also really help heal other people, because your advice, I think, is going to be so good, and the learning that you're doing is going to be so beautiful. I think that there's going to be friends that you have in your life that are going to be seeing your transformation, and you're going to be able to help them also transform. Oh, look at this next card we have. Guys, we also have the Conception card. Just saying, it's another confirmation for those of you that are wanting this next chapter of your life to maybe start thinking about children and stuff. But anyway, conception can also mean many other things. It can be the conception of new ideas and all sorts of things. So the divine alignment of multiple aspects has come together just for you. I think that as you do this healing, it's going to open up so many more doors for you, because this kind of jaded part of yourself or unaccepted part of yourself has held you back from a lot of different things. But you are going to be practicing self-compassion, and self-love is going to be the most important thing that you will be working on from now until the end of the year. And even though you may not see how that could be the most important thing right now, it is going to be the most important thing, because the transformation that you are going to be getting from that as a result of that is going to literally open up so many doors for you. And then all of a sudden, these ideas that you're going to get, you readily feel able to open those doors and take those new opportunities and pursue those new ideas because of the healing that you are doing. So that's going to be amazing. That is going to be beautiful. I also see maybe a childhood dream that you've had, you are going to be able to begin pursuing and creating. But the best thing that you can do for yourself right now is, again, work on this self-love, because it's going to be the most powerful thing that you do through this time. So powerful. Anyway, diving into the next few cards. The next one that we have is the Page of Cups being reversed. So this is something that maybe you've pushed away for a long time in your life, an aspect of yourself that maybe is a little different, maybe is a bit unique. But the thing is your unique parts of yourself are what can make you shine. And all of us have these unique parts of themselves. We all have that. As you embrace that and accept that and become okay with that, you're going to be able to shine. Also, again, you've been denying an idea that you've had. There's been these little intuitive inspirations that have come that you have denied because they would maybe expose this side of you. Maybe it would require you to accept yourself more. Anyway, you're on a journey of accepting yourself more. The next card that we have is the Five of Cups being reversed. This also talks about healing and taking on new opportunities and no longer allowing this denial or this fear or judgment to hold you back. There's so much healing being done here, and it is literally going to be one of the most beautiful things that you experience thus far. The next card that we have the Two of Wands being reversed. What dreams or desires have you not pursued because of this? Because those are going to start reviving, my love. Those are going to start gaining momentum and energy again, which is going to be amazing. So yeah, lots of that energy. We also have the Ten of Swords. Oh my goodness, healing to the max. You are no longer going to have to deal with this issue ever again, ever. The tens always indicate the completion of a chapter and the completion of a phase, which you are at. And you will never have to go back here again. This is a time of healing for you. This is a time of major healing, whether you realize it or not. The last tarot card that we have is the King of Pentacles. Oh, I actually love that he came up as our last tarot card. We have a lot of other cards that we're going to go through, but him coming up as the last tarot card, because I feel like this is sort of the front and center of who you're stepping into by the end of this year because of, all the transformations that you're making. The King of Pentacles is so freaking powerful. He is a leader, but he is so sure of himself, so sure. And I feel like you've gone through kind of a time lately where you've been a little bit unsure about yourself. Maybe you've been questioning a lot of things, again, because of this whole situation. And randomly also, I'm also hearing this idea of comparison, like maybe comparing yourself to other people and being like, oh, I'm not good enough, I need to be on that level, or what would they think of me? Just certain things with comparison, jealousy, or envy, or judgment, or fear of rejection, or other things like that have been, again, holding you back. King of Pentacles is so sure. He has such a solid foundation where he knows himself so well. He trusts the decisions that he makes. And this is the energy you are stepping into, is this very solid, powerful energy that's very committed, and you're gonna know like what you want, and it's so much more organized. Like, you're gonna have your life together in a much more organized fashion. Some of you might also be thinking that you really want to organize certain things in your life. And for some reason, I'm hearing like your drawers. Like, if you open up your drawers and they're just scattered with stuff everywhere to the point where it's like chaotic, I think that as you start healing and clearing yourself, there's going to be this desire, and maybe you already have this desire because maybe you've already been doing these things, but this desire to get really organized, to have this solidity and this feeling of being put together. And I feel like you want to enter 2024 feeling really put together and feeling your value. You're going to be realizing so much more of your value, of what you bring to the table, and the fact that you're going to understand and see your value so much more is going to be healing like tremendously. And because of this healing is allowing you to see your value. I think you're also going to be making more money going into 2024 because you are seeing your value on a deeper level. King of Pentacles also knows how to put up boundaries, and King of Pentacles keeps his promises. There is a new rapport that I think you're going to be making with yourself, because I think that you're going to be like, hey, I need to keep my promises to myself. And as you do that, you literally build up trust with yourself. We stop trusting ourselves when we continually make promises to ourselves, but we don't uphold them. We literally stop trusting ourselves without even realizing it. We're just like, we actually like literally don't trust ourselves anymore. However, we can build up that trust again by making a promise and sticking to it. Also with the King of Pentacles, I feel like reading what it actually says on here for some reason. Practical leader, prosperity, business. So some of you might be going into more business. Security, provider, abundance, reliable, safe, kind, patriarchal, protective, and sensual. I don't know why I felt like reading those, but I did feel like reading those for some reason. Anyway, I do feel like you are building up more value, like valuing yourself more, and just, I feel like it's going to be more lucrative. Like, you're gaining more abundance through doing that practice. So that's going to be great. Let's go ahead and dive right into more cards. If some of you have been wanting to expand your business or your career, or maybe even open up a business, that's something that I also see with that King of Pentacles card. We also have the trust card. Learning how to trust yourself, I think, is one of the biggest things. Also learning how to trust others and put faith in others, especially if there's been experiences in your past that have caused you to not trust either yourself or other people. You are learning how to find that trust again through the healing that you are doing. You're also learning how to trust the process, how to trust in your desires and in the progress that you're making. Because the King of Pentacles, like with the Pentacle cards, sometimes they're a little bit like slow growing, and it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of like willpower to make things happen. You're also learning how to really trust yourself and trust the progress that you're making so that you can continue reaching higher levels, getting to the next stage, reaching a goal, reaching success. We also have the Power card coming out, and then I feel like these cards are wanting to come out, even though those flipped over, but I feel like those cards were like the ones. So the Power card, calling your power back. Also, I feel like pink is going to be a color that for some reason is going to be showing up in your life more. Like maybe you're drawn to pinks, maybe reds. But I feel like pink specifically. But pink is also a very healing color. It is going to help you call your power back. I feel like there's a bright energy wanting to come out. green and pink. They're symbolizing your transformation. Okay? If you see those colors around a lot, that is confirmation. We also have the pillar. This is about finding strength, opening up a new door, and trusting very deeply in that new door that you're opening for yourself. It's also strength and stability. We also have the creator. Speak truth. Your healing is going to allow you to like really make some big changes and moves in your life that are going to be so liberating. So liberating. I'm also feeling like it's going to allow you to be yourself. Speak truth. It's going to allow you to be authentic, especially if you felt at times that you've had to like deny your authenticity because you disliked your authenticity for whatever reason, or there was a lot of judgment around that or fear of rejection around that. This healing is allowing you to be authentic. It's allowing you to step into your truth and to feel confident in your truth, to be kind of unbreakable is what I'm hearing. Stepping into this energy where you feel unbreakable and you're no longer scared of like confrontation or rejection or other things like that, because you're realizing that those things have nothing to do with who you are. They have nothing to do with who you are. And if you accept yourself for who you are authentically, you're also going to draw the right people to you, and you're also going to see the things that don't align with you. Because when you're not being authentic and you're sort of, you're not wanting to show up as your authentic self, then nobody knows who you really are. And you might have people in your life that don't actually align with you, but we're trying to keep them there because we're wanting to like not be our real selves for whatever reason, from a fear of judgment or rejection. But then we don't have the real people in our lives anyway. So like, what's the point of even doing that? But when we can be authentic, real, we realize that, the people that don't align with us, it's not a reflection of our self-image, right? Just because somebody might reject us or not like us for being who we are, that doesn't need to be destructive to our self-image. I think you're learning how to find strength in your authenticity and in your truth, and also how to not like get broken down by things, because you're going to see that it has nothing to do with you, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's going to make more sense as you go through this healing. That's going to like make more and more sense to you. It's going to allow you to kind of like create a new life, kind of create a new reality where things are so much more healed, and you're going to be aligning to the right people. This like inner child healing, it's going to be so powerful. So with that being said, let's dive into some more cards here. Group 4. Let's see. We also have Wings of Light, which is also talking about your authenticity and feeling free to shine your light, feeling free to speak your truth. Seasons of the Heart. I feel like your heart won't need so much protection anymore, because again, you're not going to like tie your self-image to the acceptance or approval of other people. When we tie our self-image to the acceptance and approval of other people, that is literally when we break down and we cannot be authentic anymore, and we break down when people don't like us, or we break down and we literally put all the power outside of us because we're putting it all up to other people. But if we can be strong in who we are, and the only approval that we need is the approval of ourselves, that's when we get liberated. And that's when we call our power back and we become the creator of our existence. And we stay strong no matter the things that kind of happen around us. So, yes, I think you're just gaining so much more strength. Like, King of Pentacles, you're strong, unbreakable, so stable, so secure, so strong. You feel safe to be you, right? Because you're no longer relying on other people to like give that acceptance for you, if that makes sense. It's going to be a huge last little end of the year, group number 4, because there's huge things happening for you. Lots of healing and expansion. And some of you, that expansion will be in your family, but for others of you, it's an expansion that you have wanted to open up, doors that you've wanted to open up before, but you couldn't before because of those aspects of yourself that held you back. Now, as you heal that, you're able to open up those doors and you feel safe doing so. So anyway, that's going to be great. Let's go ahead and dive into our astro dice. We're going to roll the zodiac sign dice 3 times to get the top 3 most likely zodiac signs that will be in your life for the end of 2023. So let's see what those top 3 most likely zodiac signs are. We have Aquarius energy. Aquarius again. Double Aquarius energy. We also have Virgo energy. And then, that is rolling really far away right now. Let's see if I can even... Oh my goodness, you have to be kidding me. I think that rolled on Sagittarius, which is hilarious because I think Sagittarius came up for every single group. Sorry, I'm like tilting my camera while I go to like try to grab this thing. Yeah, I mean, it landed on Sagittarius. That was so funny because in group 3, when Sagittarius came up, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This has come up for every group so far. And if it comes up for group number 4 too, that's just gonna be wild. And it literally came up for you as well. Although I feel like you deserve another roll because that one just like went way off the charts there, which is very typical Sagittarius energy. We also have Pisces. So those are the top 3, technically 4 zodiac signs that will most likely be in your life through until the end of the year. That was Aquarius energy, Virgo energy, Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is apparently everywhere lately, and then also Pisces. So let's go ahead and end off this reading by rolling all of these dice together to get any last information for you. All right, we have Pluto in Leo. Ooh, Pluto in Leo in the 5th house. I cannot. If any of you know astrology, you probably know why I'm freaking out right now. But the 5th house is children. It's also your inner child. Pluto is transformation. You're transforming that area of your life. So that's wild. Leo energy is also connected to the 5th house, also connected to children, healing your inner child, but it's also about being able to come into the spotlight and be authentic, because Leo is literally the spotlight energy. It's ruled by the sun, which is, of course, like it shines on everything. And so I feel like you're going to be healing a lot, learning how to come into the light, to spread your wings of who you really are, to begin trusting yourself and becoming so solid and opening those new doorways. So again, we just have so much confirmation all about those key topics that you're going to be sort of experiencing through until the end of the year. But this transformation is going to allow you to have so much more fun, because also what we have here is the ability to now have freedom and to also have fun. The 5th house is so much about having fun, allowing your inner child to just sing and be happy, and no longer denying those things, or no longer feeling like those parts of ourselves are being triggered or denied in some way. I just feel like you are transforming on so many levels, and your ability to just have fun and play, to be more playful with life, that's going to be huge, by the way. Let's dive into that topic a little bit, because that's actually really important. The transformations that you're going to be making and the healing that you're going to be doing is literally going to liberate you to where you feel like you can be fun and playful with life, rather than feeling like you need to shut down, to be serious, or to be overly cautious, overly protective, and things like that. This is going to allow you and liberate you to just have fun, to literally have fun, and transform different aspects of you that felt like you couldn't have fun, that felt like you couldn't be playful and be open and honest. All of a sudden you can, and it comes from a place of compassion. It comes from a place of love and having a big heart, because you're somebody who has a really big heart, group number 4. You have a huge heart, which also probably makes you more cautious and more aware and more of an empath and all those types of things. But when we can learn how to have that aspect of ourselves in a balanced, healthy way, we're also able to liberate ourselves to have fun. So that is what you are doing. And Pluto's allowing you to make those transformations. And I see you being more playful. Like you're literally letting your inner child come back out. That's going to be beautiful. That is going to be fun. And if any of you are thinking about having a family, that is absolutely written in the cards here, if that's something that you're thinking about. Again, I feel like that's not for all of you, but for some of you, that is an aspect of this reading. So group number 4, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for joining me here today for your reading all about what you can expect through the rest of 2023. I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, bye.